15,700 thereabouts. Is that the bottom for Bitcoin? I don't think so, and I'm going to tell you guys why coming up. Just to fill you guys back in on what's been going on, FTX obviously has collapsed. Binance was going to save them, play Captain Save a platform, and then upon further inspection, just like what I was saying, suddenly Binance would be taking on more than they can chew, and they looked at it and all these obligations to whatever, the MLB, to the Miami Heat Arena, these different obligations like that, and then they were trying to play Captain Save a platform themselves, trying to save Celsius and Voyager and all these other things. And I just think that they levered against their own token so much, and then when the price of their own token collapsed, suddenly there was no money to be had. And Scam Bankman, he's been new to the scene. He's become this poster child, the youngest billionaire. And I just think that the cockiness maybe went to his own head and then quickly got in trouble. So we've seen this time and time again in the crypto space, and it's just weird how billions and billions and billions get thrown at some of this stuff, and then it's just weird, and then in other sense it seems to be hard to raise any kind of money. So very strange, but a couple of the reasons I don't think this is the bottom. For one, we're going into a very, very, very tough economic time. Go back and forth with this. The elections are kind of over here, so kind of see how that flushes out, but so they don't have to maybe prop things up as much or play as many games with some of the stuff out there. But that being said, the interest rates are still high. Gas prices are still somewhat high, like across the United States, especially places like California, and a lot of this stuff starts out west and everything. So that kind of bleeds out. But just in specific to the crypto market, people just don't have any money. And I've noticed this in a lot of different senses. Money's getting tight, and people are just kind of tapped out. And the statistics are saying that people's credit card debt loads have went up. And then what happens when your credit card debt load goes up? Their algorithm tips it off, and then they start clenching up your available credit line. Start doing that, people get choked off. And at the end of the day, people ride the roller coaster long enough with crypto, eventually have to tap out, whether it's some NFT that they're holding, whether it was some wallet with maybe some Ethereum they had left. It could be it really could be anything. And then at first they feel okay, oh no, I'll just leave it in, I'm in for the long haul. Times get tough, some more bills pop up, something goes wrong, car breaks down, there could be a million things. Need to knock on wood because I don't need any car trouble right now. And then things get tight, and then people get pressed out. And that usually takes a year. Now, for the most part, that's been a year. November 2021 was the peak. Now we're November 2022. We had this additional capitulation move. A lot of this stuff tanked. You're still going to have another solid year of the alts getting pressed out. Now, percentage-wise, 15,700, was that fairly close to the bottom for Bitcoin? I would say yes and maybe no. 85% drop, which is what happened the last two, bear markets essentially. The drop from the top was 85% for Bitcoin. Other stuff like, Ethereum dropped over 90%. And actually Doge held up better than Ethereum percentage-wise last bear market. Just for reference. But a lot of the stuff, it lost 90% of its value. And then obviously, of course, you'd have the stuff that lost 98 or 99% of its value. And, we've taken a hit on a lot of this stuff. I was saying that Solana, I remember people jumping back in May, picking up Solana at $90, feeling like that was a good deal. And then it was just like, no, it's probably going to fall to at least a third of that, which would have been 30. And then, sure enough, it's suddenly down at 14 or something like that. And I honestly think that Solana's going to get pressed out under 10. A lot of these others, Harmony One or Phantom, things just keep getting pressed, Avalanche, all those. So they continue to get pressed. Now, some stuff's held up a little bit better than I would have thought. Cake being one of them, which is the token for PancakeSwap. That actually held up a little bit better because once it hit 3, it kind of popped up around 4 and even kind of started to approach 5, but then we had this last capitulation move. But there's going to be all these impending, like, meteor showers, meteor shower. And I think what's going to happen with Bitcoin is you're going to have this additional pressure. You have some kind of collapse like this with FTX. And then think about all the people that had their funds tied up there. Think about the people that still haven't gotten their money back from Mt. Gox, which collapsed in 2014. Think about the people on Celsius. Their money's tied up. They're not going to likely pull other money to get on another exchange. They're going to think that they're going to get their money back sooner than they are. Whereas it's unfortunately going to get tied up for years and years and years. It's going to go to a trustee. It's essentially going to be the lawyers trying to sort out the assets and go through various bankruptcy proceedings in various different countries or wherever they had their entity formed. Or they just get up and leave, like Cryptsy. I've seen a lot of these fail since 2013. There's been Cryptsy, MintPal, Mt. Gox, BitGrail. Almost got caught up in the BitGrail thing. I got out by the skin of my teeth. Who else? I mean, it's just Cryptopia. Almost got caught up in that. Just seen these over and over and over and over again. So again, it's very tough because greed will get the best of people. They'll think, well, I can leave it on this exchange and I can earn this amount. And I've done that. I put some money on Gemini and it was earning a certain amount on my Doge. And I've toyed around with a lot of these different exchanges, and you could, Kraken, you could earn like 12% staking Polkadot. I've done that. So I get it's enticing. Leave it on there, but not your keys, not your crypto. And it's just unfortunate because if you are going to do it, I would say spread yourself out. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So I want to dive in a little bit further why I don't think this is the bottom. Again, to reiterate, the economy's not looking good in several different facets. People are out of money. They've got the holidays coming up, so they've got to kind of do their traveling, do their gift buying, all that kind of stuff. And statistically, people are just out of money. Secondly, the Steam-backed dollar is still at $2, thereabouts. So you still gotta fall back to $1, and that's where equilibrium is met. And I know that seems like a weird example because the Steam blockchain has taken a back seat to what's going on with Hive and some of the other kind of various delegated proof of stake chains that have kind of spawned from that technology and what that platform was. But that being said, it's the last two cycles, or the last couple times that Steam has went up and then fell, it was like the Steam-backed dollar had to kind of recorrect itself, kind of thing, back to $1, and then it would seem like equilibrium was met. Now, another thing too is more and more and more people getting pressed out, and FTX is obviously, that's a huge collapse, and we've had large collapses in the past and stuff like that, and then ends up making more and more people fearful because you have to think about the big money. It's not just guys like me and you or some other minor players out there. There was big money that probably got locked up on FTX. People that had billions, people that had tens of millions, hundreds of millions, so on and so forth. So it makes people hesitant when something that seems so successful and Scam Bankman became this poster child, and they're keep making articles and stuff about him and all that kind of stuff like that. And when big money sees that can happen on these big platforms and their money's tied up and stuff like that, it just leaves a bad taste in people's mouth. Now, trading did start, I guess, out on Fidelity, commission-free trades for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there was a partnership, I think, with Microsoft and Polygon, and then also with Meta or Facebook and Polygon. So there's been some partnerships, and there's been some positive activity kind of going on in different realms. So I'm not saying it's all negative and stuff, but at the end of the day, people continue to get pressed out, and about the time they breathe a sigh of relief, they get crushed completely again. And at some point, they just have to tap out because they've invested too much time, too much energy, too much money, in sitting there waiting for this to grow, and eventually this kind of, if some other opportunity comes up, maybe they take the money out and try to do that, maybe turn over some products. Could be a resale thing, it could be some other opportunity, because you get this, you know, the opportunity cost loss of just the money sitting around there bebopping around. That's going to happen for another year, most likely. Now, are you really going to kind of like be that damaged if you went in there and bought Bitcoin at these levels, or you had some, you know, you had some buy orders in and you pick some up under 16,000? I think you're going to be okay. If we do fall to 11,000, I was in my head thinking I really see us falling under 15,000. I know some of the chartologists have said 13,800 is kind of a mark. That to me is kind of negligible between the, you know, 15,000 and 13,800. But you are able to accumulate more coin, and especially if it falls to, you know, 11,000. But that's all going to be quick. Just like we saw this capitulation move, it was quick, and then before you knew it, it was popping up $2,000, and suddenly it's back up to 17,500 thereabouts. But going back, and not to again toot my own horn, previously I was telling you guys that I did not think 17,500 was the bottom that happened like earlier in the summer. Just did not believe that that was the bottom, and sure enough, it wasn't. So again, I'm right more than I'm wrong. And personally, I just don't, honestly, I think there's more than a 50% chance that this isn't the bottom. And I don't want to leave it to a coin flip. People are going to be fine if they bought Bitcoin at these levels. I think they're going to be fine for the long haul. That being said, I do see us ripping on down under 15,000 here eventually. It could take another month, could take 2 months, but the fallout is not done from FTX, guys. The fallout is not done. There's going to be a lot sorted out. There's going to be a lot of broken dreams and a lot of crushed souls. So again, don't mean to make it a laughing matter. It's obviously very serious. People got their funds caught up, and hopefully none of you guys got your funds caught up on FTX. Anyway, guys, please like this video. Please subscribe. Follow me on all social media at Brian Phobos, YouTube, Instagram, Steemit, Twitter, Hive, DTube, everywhere. See you guys later.